Laser Leavers, this is SuperZOMGBBQ, and today we're going to be talking about WrestleMania. Not just WrestleMania, but the road to WrestleMania. And this is what the road to WrestleMania looks like. The road to WrestleMania quest. What is this? Well, that's going to be a little discussion point for today, as well as all of the individual different quests on here. Plus, you know, we're going to do Build-A-Pack. Because I love getting 50 picks all the time, baby. It's like my favorite thing in the world. Woo! But seriously, this one's pretty good. Let's start off with the Road to WrestleMania quest and my likes and my gripes around it. So they teased this in the login bonus. If you guys have remember seeing it, it was right around, well, yesterday here. Show up today for a quest related to the show as well. Let's just say so far the hype for WrestleMania 37 tier is less of a Hall of Fame fireworks show and more of an AEW deathmatch. It was probably expected, maybe too much assumed, that this would be the thing that would kick off WrestleMania fever, because we've had the Stone Cold events and the individual different events coming up every single week, but we've not had anything really start. And credit to SuperCard, they have brought out things like QR codes, draft patterns, but nothing about WrestleMania. And compared to the last 2 years, 36 and 35, the amount of hype was incredible. We had the month-long Road to WrestleMania in WrestleMania 35. We had WrestleMania 36. That was a month-long thing with community goals and stuff. It was pretty sweet. Not to mention the Flash events, the triple event, the first ever triple event, where you had a fortified event card. That never happened again. Oh wait, then they had that thing with the Big Show, and let's just not mention that. But there is one particular part of this quest which I don't particularly like, but there are some other bits that are pretty easy to do. A lot of people have been complaining about difficulty-wise for this, and it's actually really simple, so we're going to jump into that. Well, I would if El Lyco wasn't. Like, seriously, how is this guy alive? He's been stunned, blown up, RKO'd out of nowhere. The guy literally does not quit. So let's make it happen, people. Lots of positivity. And 3, 2, 1, and boom, he's gone. Love it. One day I'm just going to grab an RPG or a rocket launcher and shoot it at the guy. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you'd notice already my big deal is the fusion time. Start a fusion using a WrestleMania 35 recipe, or why don't they just say start a WrestleMania 35 fusion? Surely that would just be simpler. However, my big problem is I already have 2 fusions running. I can't physically do another one. And most people only a few weeks ago would have started their Royal Rumble fusions. This had absolutely no warning to it, no reasoning, just it happened. Now it's going to take me at least 3 days and 3 hours to finish this Royal Rumble fusion, or I'm going to have to pay 250 credits to start one. And to start one, I'm going to have to go all the way from Gothic Neon Shattered to WrestleMania. This takes 7.5 hours in total to get every single one done. You have to go through the first 3, then wait until the WrestleMania 35 has finished, then start again, and then finish the last one. That in total takes a long time, and I don't know if I've got enough time to finish this. Anyone who started a Royal Rumble fusion certainly will have very limited time, and I think that's a poor decision. Just me personally. Others would not have a fusion going and can easily do this in no time. I'd like to know what your thoughts are on the entire quest. Leave them in the comment section down below. But I do think that there's a little bit of hype missing from this year's WrestleMania tier or season for SuperCard. The whole of WrestleMania itself is building up, and everyone's excited to see fans back, and it feels like the ignition isn't turning. However, there are parts of this that are doable without worrying about the fusions. And if one of the guys from 2K Cat Daddy is watching, my personal opinion is that maybe you should have changed it to WrestleMania 34 fusions, because no one is running the legacy fusions. And if they are, there's only 12 hours to go. So it would have finished by now, which makes more sense. This way, it stays out of the realms of the Royal Rumble fusions. From a free-to-play perspective as well, it also stops people progressing for about 6 days, potentially, but for free-to-play players. I already feel the pain on my free-to-play account, on the poor man's SuperCard account. I feel like I've got to stop progressing to go back and do this to get the quest rewards. But for those of you who are having problems with it, have no fear, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm here to help you with the rest of the quests, even whilst you're waiting for your fusions to finish. The first one is Perfect Pro. Well, this is actually really simple. It's combined two WrestleMania 34, 35 or 36 pros together to make Perfect Pros. Now, to make a Perfect Pro, you just have to have two cards. Let's go to combinables, which are 100% leveled. So you got, let's just say Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, just imagine if that was a WrestleMania card. You don't have to play level them. You just have to get into that point and then pro them. Done. Now, some people are saying it's going to be too difficult to get these. Well, there are a couple of ways you can avoid the difficulty. One is just play the game. I know that sounds crazy, but just in playing about 200 or 300 picks alone, I've managed to rack up a pretty respectable amount of WrestleMania 35 cards there. And on the free-to-play account, I've actually managed to get 3 pros literally in the same amount of time. If you keep going and going and going, eventually you'll get lucky with a pro over the next weekend or so. But if you really don't want the hassle, you can always go to the Superstore, go down to the WrestleMania 36 cards, which are right here, and pay 850 super coins for a WrestleMania 36 pair. The Miz and The Miz. Nice. Done. Level those to 100. That's 1 pro done. But seriously, you don't have to do that. The other alternative, as I did, is to just get yourself some draft picks. That's nice and simple. You don't have to worry about playing games. You can just pick off the draft board. Why is Rhino still in the game? I still don't know, but it's pretty cool that he's still there. The other alternative, and this is the easiest one, seriously, is to go down to your legacy fusions. These are so simple to do. You also have to not worry about any of the legacies, and you might even get yourself some new card images. Then go to each individual fusion, start a brand new one. I've started building up quite a few sets of these beast fusions and let it go. Go on to Titan, go on to WrestleMania, and you'll see with WrestleMania, there are actually limited numbers of characters you can get. And trust me, after about 10, you will have a couple of pros in there. So if you're really that bothered, just do the legacies. It's really simple. It's going to take you a couple of days, but so much easier than the WrestleMania 35 one. But the next, it's actually using a Roman Reigns and a Sasha Banks card. Now, where are you going to get a Roman Reigns or a Sasha Banks card from? Well, that actually is ludicrously simple. Just play the game. Sasha Banks is harder to get than Roman Reigns. Why, I don't know. But if I go to my combinables, again, like I've said, I've got multiple Roman Reigns and Sasha Banks waiting to be used. All you've then got to do is go to your deck editor and, well, put all your Roman Reigns cards in one deck, in Royal Rumble, in Elimination Chamber. For the women's, I haven't finished that deck yet, but I can play a game of Royal Rumble with these individual cards. Your aim isn't to use these cards, it's to use these ones as your anchors, and then your enemy will be facing off with the same cards, and you just use each bigger card to get you more and more points and more wins. And trust me, after about 10 games, 15 games, you'll be good. Another option is to go into Elimination Chamber and just fill the whole thing with Roman Reigns, or for the Women's Elimination Chamber, with Sasha Banks, because you can't have too much Sasha Banks, can you? For the last part, event wins, well, that's real simple. Just go to the ring domination this week for Bobby Lashley, or even the Team Road to Glory next week. Play the games and you're good. You can play Money in the Bank, but that's your choice. At least it's not unbeaten games, because that would be really annoying. So kudos for that one, Cat Daddy. But the sticking point is going to be this WrestleMania 35 one. Again, please change it to WrestleMania 34. It makes so much more sense. Plus, you could cast it as going into the past WrestleManias. Maybe. Some have complained about the rewards as well, but I would say this is more as a advancement quest for people who are in lower tiers, or people who've just reached Royal Rumble tier. Because anyone below Royal Rumble tier will get either the card of their tier or the tier above. So that means they could get a card they don't have yet, or a tier card they don't have yet. So for my poor man's SuperCard account, which is now Behemoth, I might get my first ever Royal Rumble card. So that's pretty cool. This is not a quest for those guys who have a bazillion event pros, and I can understand where some people might be a bit annoyed, especially considering the Stone Cold event was pretty easy to get your hands on a Stone Cold. Just again, see my poor man SuperCard for evidence of that one. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on that one. But now we're going to go over to a builder pack. Now this one's very interesting because it has the Seth, the Becky, and Rey Mysterio. No, Dominic Mysterio, though that's a little bit surprising. And a bunch of fusions as well, which include the Swarm, Behemoth, and Royal Rumble. But also included there are a bunch of picks, a bunch of credits, and on the spin the wheel, we have, there he is, there's a Dominic Mysterio, and you also have the Stone Cold Steve Austin. Give him a hell. Yeah. So we're going to do one to finish off the video. 2,500. Let's see what's inside. Will we get a spinner or not? Let's find out. That's 15 picks. That's not a spinner. In the middle, a Swan Road case. Top right hand side, that's a strike, my favorite thing in the world. Bottom left, we have a spinner. Awesome, with Seth Rollins. Is anyone really confused with Seth Rollins' character at the moment? Like, I'm mega confused. Let's spin now and see if we get 50 picks. I'm looking at you, 50. You're looking fine, but I don't want you today. Okay? Let's see what we get. Let's stop now. And it's rolling. Ugh, let's see. It's, oh no, you kid. Let's go for the last one. And a Jeff Hardy. What did you get? I got screwed. Thanks, SuperCard. But I think we can leave it on that note. Almost got myself another Stone Cold Pro. Instead, I got Jeff Hardy and 50 picks. Thanks, everyone. Make sure you're leaving a like and dropping a subscribe on the video. And I will see you very, very soon. Peace out.